Word Machine with your host, Jimmy Hall.
I'd walk on fire just to have you back here again. I count the stars, counting till I see you again. And in this town, pushing through the darkness of day.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome rock recording artist Grando to the program. Grando, how you doing?
Hey, James. Great. How are you today?
Not bad, man. I mean, it's warm here. I'm in South Carolina. It's warm here, but it's cloudy. But it's getting up there. It's about 68 degrees right now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that is good. I'm in Belgium, and we just had a couple of storms rip through here, and it's cloudy and rainy. So I envy you.
Are you from Belgium?
No, I'm from Canada, but I'm just out here in Belgium at the moment, working on some stuff. So yeah, it's a good place to work on some music and draw some inspiration.
What part of Canada are you from?
I grew up in the central part of Canada, kind of in the Midlands. It's Saskatchewan is the province. I'm from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. But then, yeah, I lived in Ottawa for over a decade after that as well. So.
Oh, pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been out here for a couple years now.
Oh, wow.
Just before the pandemic hit, basically, kind of came out here, and then kind of got I don't know, marooned out here, as it were, with all of the lockdowns. And we, in Belgium, they locked down quite a bit. We were kind of, you couldn't go beyond like a kilometer of your house. You can only go outside of your house if you wanted to do some exercising or anything like that. Otherwise, we were kind of confined to your own abode. So it was, they had some pretty strict lockdown measures, but they're starting to lift now.
I came across you, actually. I got an email from Michael Stover. Do you know Michael Stover?
No.
From MTS Management, MTS Records. I don't know, maybe somebody that you're affiliated with sent your information to him, and then like he passed it along to me because he knows that I do a radio podcast. And let me tell you, when I heard it, I was like blown away by it. I was like, wow, this cat's cool.
Oh, nice. Thanks for that. Yeah. It was kind of, it's a labor of love. Definitely. Put a lot of energy into it. Had some really good personnel also join on the album. So most of it was kind of done in lockdown during the pandemic. And, but yeah, I was able to get, a couple different people to help doing the mixing. So I have a few other projects that I do on the side with like electronic music and saxophone and different stuff. And this one is very much straight ahead kind of rock. So I got in touch with Chris Sheldon, and Chris Sheldon's a pretty cool cat. This guy, he's worked with a lot of bands. He's out of the UK. He's worked with a lot of bands. I mean, the most notable one, I guess, would be, among others, are the Foo Fighters, Ocean Size, Biffy Clyro, and he's got just a really good sound, a really good ear for mixing kind of all of the little different bits into what you hear. So he definitely has that Chris Sheldon sound. So he was able to kind of gel it and mix it together. And then also I got some help from another really good mastering engineer, Brian Lucy. And Brian's done things like Royal Blood, he has everything. I think he's done the Black Keys, Arctic Monkeys, Shania Twain. It spans the gamut. Like he's got a lot of really interesting people that he's worked with. So yeah, it was a labor of love, but also having all these different people come in and put their energy into it as well really helped solidify the album. Also hired a guy out of the UK to do the drumming bit. So I had a whole bunch of electronic drums because I'm used to kind of the EDM realm. So I had a whole bunch of like canned drums that I wanted for the album, but it needed that human touch, that bit to just kind of make the things come alive and pop. And I think he did a really good job.
That's pretty cool. Can you tell me about your musical background a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, it runs pretty far back. So effectively, I was a saxophone player. Went through high school band, and played saxophone in the bands and jazz bands and that kind of stuff. And then went to university and thought I wanted to be a professional saxophone player, and quickly realized that I don't think it was a calling for me. So continued to played a lot of different gigs in different big bands and jazz bands, and played on a cruise ship for a while.
Cool.
Holland America was kind of the main entertainment on ship. And so toured around through the Mexican Riviera, and that was fine, and that was good. It was a very structured kind of environment, and was a little bit maybe too rigid for what I was looking for, and came back to Canada after that and started a rock band. And that band was called Bridgeview out of Saskatoon. And yeah, we did pretty good. We had some pretty good coverage, but as things do, the bands kind of break away and do their different things. So then I moved to Ottawa, and without a band, I started doing some stuff on my own with a producer, and really incorporated kind of live looping. So it was called the Matt Dorgan Project, and there's a lot of live looping, synthesizers, saxophone, guitars kind of stuff. So played a few festivals out there under that moniker, and then moved to Belgium and was doing electronic music, because electronic music out here is very popular. Clearly, it is across the world under the moniker Dorgan, and so doing a lot of that. And then the pandemic hit, and we're out here. And unfortunately, my wife passed away during the pandemic due to cancer. And that's kind of the genesis of this album. So I was working on a bunch of rock songs before she passed. We were kind of talking a little bit about the concept of it. So that's why this album is quite special to me, because there's a lot of the topics and a lot of the lyrics that go along with it are really in relation to that experience, losing someone at a very young age, working through that experience, working through these emotions. And that's kind of what's tied this whole album together. The album's 8 tracks. It's called By Your Side.
Right.
And so the themes in here they're quite dense, but they're accessible. I think the biggest litmus test that I have, kind of coming from that electronic music pop idea in the last few years, is, can my 3-year-old sing to it? Can I get a chorus that if I put it on in the car, you'll be able to sing to it, you'll be able to hear it and repeat that chorus and have a bit of an earworm. So that's what I was going for. The styles that I really picked out to try to put into this album and make it kind of cohesive in my own came a lot from Audioslave. There's a lot of Audioslave kind of influence in terms of the grunginess, the riffiness of the guitars.
I can definitely hear that.
Yeah, it's great. I'm glad it came through. It's funny that I think Brian was saying that. No, it was Chris Sheldon was saying, he's like, you have a really interesting mix, kind of like Arctic Monkeys meets Nine Inch Nails sound, which is, I mean, it's an amazing compliment, that's for sure. But I think that's a pretty valid and pretty accurate way of looking at it. I think the songs kind of have this kind of swagger to them. There's later on in the album, you start getting into a little bit more of, you hear my electronic influences that are kind of coming through, a little bit of electronic drums, some electronic synthesizers in there as well. But yeah, that was kind of the stylistic impressions that I was trying to draw upon to make this album.
That's awesome. This podcast is going to feature 2 tracks of yours, one being Time and the other Cannonball. What's the story behind the songs? Yeah,
Time it kind of alludes back to what I was saying before. It's time can't fix this broken heart. There's nothing that will really kind of, it's this thing that we all go through. We all lose people in our lives, but there's a connection that just can't be broken. And time can't fix it. They say time heals all wounds, but in this case, for me, I just don't see that time is going to be able to heal this thing. So that's kind of the chorus of this song is time can't fix this broken heart. That being said, it's still kind of an uplifting, it's not a daddy downer song. It has a little bit more of a kind of optimism to it, I would say. So yeah, time runs through that whole kind of idea of losing a loved one along the way. Cannonball is just kind of a riffy kind of got a bit of an attitude to it. So Cannonball, it has a little bit more of, I was trying to use the ideas from Radiohead and just kind of putting words into a hat and pulling them out and coming up with a concept and maybe stitching some words together. And that's kind of where Cannonball kind of came from. So the chorus has some different allusions to being blown open and having this animal kind of energy and but it also has this kind of uplifting feel to it. So it's that's where Cannonball came from.
Pretty cool. How do you approach songwriting? What's your creative process like?
Yeah, that's a good question. I know everyone kind of has their own way of doing it. For me, the main part is getting a really good groove. So the way that I approach it, I have a guitar. It's a bit of a unique guitar, actually. It's a Gibson SG, but it's a Gibson SGJ, which is a Gordie Johnson signature model. And Gordie Johnson is a very prolific character in Canada. He had a band called Big Sugar, and he was on the radio. So they only made 56 of these, I think.
Wow.
And I have number 36 of 56 or 52. And but what's special about it is that it is built to be in an open tuning system, but detuned. So mine is detuned into kind of an open B with the two high strings in B, and the lowest string is actually a bass string that you put on there. So you can't really manipulate it. You can't really do a lot of bends. So that's why you use a slide. So I have a slide. You'll hear the solos. They're predominantly kind of slide based, just because it lends itself really well to this open tuning system. So the gear that I have also influences kind of how this goes. So I have a whammy pedal that does octave lower and an octave higher. So you get these 3 octaves of sound, which creates basically a wall of sound where you don't really need a bass player. So when I look at and approach songwriting, it's riff based, knowing that it'll just be probably guitar and drums on stage when we perform it. Mm-hmm. So how do you get this wall of sound that's succinct, and is able to drive and push? And those are the main qualities that I think of when I'm doing that. Trying to come up with some sort of pop influence in this rock realm with that open tuning system. So it's a combination of these things. After I get the guitar and the chorus and the verse kind of aligned, then I start humming and putting the vocals on top of it. So it's guitar first, groove based, then the vocals come. And then after the vocals, once I'm satisfied with the melodies that are coming out, then I look at doing the words that go on top of it. So I already have an idea in my head. I kind of sing some nonsensical stuff, just words, random word associations when I'm coming up with the riffs. And then those kind of guide and feed into the longevity of the song. So I'll take some of those words and then I'll start writing some thoughts around that, and then personal, making it a little bit more personal from there. So it's a little bit random at the beginning with the words, but then it starts to structure itself as time goes on. Nice.
Who would you most like to collaborate with?
That's a really good question. There's a guy that his name is Mike Vennert. Mike Vennert used to be the lead singer of Ocean Size, and he does his own thing now. And I think he's the kind of a live musician for Biffy Clyro as well. Mike Vennert has a fascinating and a phenomenal way of playing guitar and singing that I think would lend itself well to a collaboration with the stuff that Grando does as well. That would probably be top of my priority list.
Nice. Is there an instrument or a piece of gear that you always wanted but haven't been able to get?
Well, yeah, I mean, a little bit cost prohibitive, like the U47 microphones are really nice. Some of the iconic microphone preamps are really good. But one thing that I was able to snag, and this is an interesting story, it's a small town that I'm living in at the moment, small enough, I guess about 100,000 people, 90,000 people. Mm-hmm. And here you can go online, much like anywhere else in the world. You can find anything that you want. You can purchase it. Here they have these big conglomerate websites where you can go and purchase gear and they ship it to you and everything's good. So a lot of the smaller shops have been kind of falling off the radar because they are not able to compete, or they're not part of this distribution network. Here in Mons, which is just south of Brussels, there is this place, this really great music store called Omega Music. Mm-hmm. And they're not part of the big conglomerate, so they're not tapped into this database. So what was it? It was about a year and a half ago, I was looking for a really nice Gibson acoustic J45. And Gibson was having its 125th anniversary in 2019, and they released a small signature kind of release of the J45, Hummingbird, J200 to celebrate that 125th. So they made 125 of these guitars in their custom shop in the world. And when I was looking to get a J45, I happened to notice that I'm making music, that they had one of these custom Gibson 125th anniversary guitars. And I was able to actually, I played it, and they had a Hummingbird as well. So I was able to try both of them. And I came home with the Gibson J45 limited edition 125th anniversary guitar. So that is probably my favorite instrument that I have in the works here. But it's great that we have these small independent music shops that are able to still bring quality instruments to people instead of it being just mass marketed.
Nice. You have a couple of videos up on your YouTube page. Do you enjoy making the videos as much as recording the music?
Yes. I think I enjoy recording music a little bit more. I think videos are an important thing, but with the advent of TikTok and other social media outlets, I'm not sure how much the videos are going to continue to be. That being said, it's a great creative outlet. It's nice to be able to kind of come up with a storyboard, put some things on paper, and then work to get it to the point where you're satisfied of releasing it. I'm releasing another video on Friday on the 25th, which is the album release for California, and I think it turned out pretty well. So there's a lot of it harkens back to this idea of being in California, and these when I worked there with a cruise ship, that was kind of one of the ports that we went to. So it just draws upon that memory and that frame of mind of being in California with the sun and the sand in your hair. And I think this video does a really good job of exemplifying the emotion that's in the song. Started feeling like California. And I think it's always a fun creative outlet to do videos, but I would have to say I think creating music is a little bit more on the tip of my finger.
When you're not performing or recording music, what do you like to do on your downtime for fun?
Yeah. I usually have a guitar in my hand. I have to say, that being said, I'm not a gamer, but I just picked up this game this year because of the pandemic, just not being able to get out and be social as much. A silly game called Rocket League has consumed so many hours of my life.
Cool.
It's a free to play game. But yeah, it's fun. Everyone's on the same page. You can't level up. You can't pay to get better. You need to put in the time. And I think I kind of like that aspect of it, that everyone is equal. You can't just buy your way up through the ladder. That's consuming a bit of my time. Yeah.
Very cool. Do you have a website you'd like to promote? Yeah,
if people want to check it out, grandoofficial.com is the website. You can go check that out. It has all the videos will be posted there. All the streaming, have some merch up there as well, and we'll come up with just planning some tours right now for the summertime, some festivals, and those will be posted there as well. So grandoofficial.com is the place to go and check out more for what I'm up to.
The name Grando, how did you come up with that?
Yeah, good question. Grando is a mix of my last name. So Dorgan is my last name, and if you rearrange it into an anagram, because I've already used the Matt Dorgan project. I've already used Dorgan for electronic music. So I needed to come up with a different name, but I like trying to keep my name in there somehow. So Grando is just a rearrangement of Dorgan. But I think it works really well for this rock music, and it sounds good.
No, it definitely sounds good. And you have the look too. Is there anything you'd like to mention that we didn't talk about today?
No, I think we kind of hit on all the good stuff. It's just it's been a great opportunity to work with, like I said, these talented mixers, masters, musicians. I'm really, really proud of what we've been able to deliver, and look forward to the release on Friday.
And the album's called By Your Side, comes out this Friday. And you said it was mixed by Chris Sheldon and mastered by Brian Lucy, right?
That's it. Chris Sheldon and Brian Lucy. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Grando, I want to thank you so much for coming on the program today and sharing your story and your music. And I look forward to hearing some more great stuff from you in the future.
James, thank you very much for having me on. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. And anytime you want to come back, you got my email. So if you got something you want to promote and you want to come back on the show, send me a message, all right?
Brilliant. Will do. Thank you very much.
All right. God bless. And you take care, all right?
You have a good day. Thanks.
Right. Bye-bye.